stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
Hello race fans and welcome to the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are live here for the Dynasty Racing League's 10th season's Brickyard 200. There's 5 races left to go in the season, and I tell you what, this is one of the toughest tracks that you can have, especially to run towards a championship. I'll get you updated in just a little bit on who's racing for that championship right now. We're watching a little bit of qualifying, or rather practice action going on. Right now you got Sam Niederhelm getting out there, getting it done. Looks like that 21 Richard Springer, he's coming up off of the pit lane. Obviously, it's Indianapolis weekend, so, or Indianapolis, the month of May. These guys running at Indianapolis week before the 500. Definitely appreciate that on my end, since I won't be around next weekend. Neither will the Dynasty Racing League. They'll be taking the week off. My normal partner in crime, Matt Medler. He's going to be running this race here, rocking the 01 Scooby-Doo Cartoon Network car. It's very similar to Thomas Harmon's there, just kind of a black version. Gonna hope to carry on some of that speed. But I tell you what, Thomas Harmon, one of the best in the business. It's gonna be hard to stay up there with him. It's a 2.5-mile rectangular oval. I got yelled at by my psych teacher for saying that once, but it is what it is. 73 degrees, but the track temp at 106, so it's going to be hot. It's going to be slick on those tires. Little bit of a wind, not a whole heck of a lot. Shouldn't play in too much of a factor, but these four corners, they look relatively equal. That track map obviously slanted a bit with the rest of the graphic. They look relatively equal, but each one tells a different story. You got to attack them a little bit different. Turns 1 and 3, you're going to have some different, different reference points and when you're going to get onto the brakes. Turns 1, versus turns 2 and 4. Those are pretty similar to each other, but I think turn 4 tightens up just a bit more than turn 2. We'll ride on board with Taylor Butcher Benjamin. He won the pole last week. About 30 seconds left in practice here. Taylor's going to come across the line here to complete this lap. Austin Collins quickest in practice, then Chris James in the 82, Thomas Harmon, Mike Lemon, and Taylor Butcher Benjamin is 5th fastest. Now we are going to find out who's able to run for the pole. Unlike the Indianapolis 500, we've only got 2 timed laps. And they count individually. Taylor Butcher Benjamin onto the racetrack. Austin Collins, we'll see if he tries to qualify for this one, being the fastest driver in practice, or if he's going to pull his normal strategy of running the slowest lap he can to ensure he starts at the back in that TRD Toyota Corolla Gen 4. DK out front, we saw him in the chat here before we were getting ready. B. Brorby also in the chat. Checkered flags for him in the chat. A little wave from DK. We'll see what DK's got for his first lap at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Go ahead and try to get the ticker scrolling. These guys put down laps. See who's got the best one. And it does look like the 14 of Jacob Gladulich, Drift King, is going to be the first driver to complete a lap here as he gets down into turn number 3. Thomas Harmon not too far behind him sideways there for the 14. That's going to cost him a little bit of speed as he works through the short chute between turns 3 and 4. Comes up out of turn number 4, uses up all that racetrack. These stock cars, they don't pull quite as much to the left as the Indy cars do. And if you haven't noticed, I got those big open wheel guys on my mind right now with the Indy 500 coming up. But this is Dynasty Racing League, so we'll try to stop with that. Apologies there. But DK completed his first lap. Austin Collins goes quickest. He has decided to qualify for once. That's definitely an interesting development. He doesn't usually like to complete a lap here, or at least run a quick lap. Thomas Harmon runs in 3rd. We'll see if Austin Collins can improve any on his second lap from a 52.13. If he can, that's going to be indicative of what these guys can do. Collins decides to come into the pits. So Thomas Harmon going to be the first to show us if these first laps improve, or if the second lap improves compared to the first. He was 700 slower that time. TBB gets in for 4th place. Matt Burgess gets in for 8th place with his lap. Sam Niederhelm's going to come across the line. We'll see if he improves at all. He does not. So the first lap looks to be where the speed is going to be. And now we've got Matt Mettler. Driver we're used to hearing a lot from. So he's usually right up next to me up in the booth. But Dynasty Racing League is giving him the chance to run this race here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So he's going to be rocking that Cartoon Network car. Should be a Sim Racing Media car, but it's not. It's okay. See what he can do for his first lap. 12 drivers have put down times. Matt Sisler also ready to put down a time. He's about halfway down the back straightaway, getting down into 3 now, actually. Matt Mettler across the line for his first lap. What's he going to put down? A 53.14. So that keeps him where he's at. Can see if he can improve. Meanwhile, Matt Sisler comes up out of turn number 4. Not sure if he maybe got into the wall there, but that lap didn't register a time. So I might be jumping the gun just a hair. But I think it's safe to say that Austin Collins is going to sit on the pole. Yep, time is up now. We're going to go ahead and talk to our pole sitter, Austin Collins, in just one moment here. All right, Austin, I've stolen you from your team, brought you up into the booth to talk about the racetrack. You're the fastest in practice. We're not used to seeing you put down a qualifying lap. Usually you stop right at the finish line and wait for it, but I guess first off, we'll talk about that. What was the motivation to put down a lap this time instead of pulling your usual strategy of starting at the back?
Oh yeah, I've been trying to qualify more in everything I race recently. Just trying to get back into the swing of playoffs coming up and stuff, and trying to get the most out of it as I can. I know last week I really struggled, so not that qualifying would have helped me, but it would have been a little bit better, I feel like. But yeah, I just know it's going to be real tough to pass unless I'm sliding every corner. So hopefully we don't slide it in front of the whole entire field, but we'll find out here.
Well, awesome stuff. And then Austin, walk us through how the car is feeling. You were blazing fast in practice, super quick, but it obviously, your first lap was the quick one, and that seemed to be the trend for everybody here in qualifying. How do you think those tires are going to wear out moving through the race, and what kind of speed you got under the hood to put such fast laps down?
Them rear tires are going to be hating me after about a couple laps. I know that. And it's kind of weird because it's kind of tight on entry too, so it's going to be real interesting racing here tonight. So trying to keep both tires on it. Hopefully by lap 5 I'm not dead. So
awesome stuff, Austin. Well, appreciate you talking with us up in the booth here. We'll get you sent back to XLR. Best of luck in the race.
yeah, thank you guys. Y'all have a good.
Oh man, I cut him off there. I was trying to be quick. Apologies to Austin Collins for cutting him off. Well, we've also got a treat because I've gotten permission to drag Matt in here whenever I want to. Matt, you're getting ready to grid up. Looked like that car was sliding sideways on that practice and qualify, so what you feeling?
You know what? I'm feeling a lot better. Big thanks to JP again for putting this opportunity together for me. These guys, when we're broadcasting them, they put on such a great show in this car. I mean, how could you not want to try and be out there with them? But now comes the pressure of, being in the field with the best of the drivers I personally feel in iRacing in this Gen 4 car. Have a lot of newfound respect for this race car, all this horsepower. I've been working on throttle control a lot, trying just to be able to keep this car in the racetrack and planted. But you're right. Qualifying lap 1 was okay, but the minute I tried to pick it up, it got loose as a goose. So thrilled to be out here and looking forward to having a good run. I just don't want to be the guy to cause any type of playoff implications. So I'm going to try to do my best and have a good time and not create any menacing moments out there on the track as well.
Awesome stuff, Matt. We'll jump with you again a little bit later, but looks like you guys are getting ready to roll, so best of luck to you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you, buddy.
So that's Matt Metler, usually next to me up in the booth. We're going to hear a lot less from him than we usually do, but still try to talk with him. Try to talk with some other drivers if we get some cautions, but that pace car has made the hard left turn, and I tell you what, cautions are few and far between in this league. Austin Collin has the field in hand. Green flag is out. We are racing from Indianapolis in the Brickyard 200. Austin Collins gets away strong compared to Mike Lemon up on the top side. He's already got himself a car length of a lead. Lemon sideways, or rather that was the 82 of Chris James. Sideways there on the inside of Mike Lemon. Lemon now giving him plenty of space. Comes down low, coming up off the corner. Sets up a nice exit. He's going to clear. Taylor Butcher Benjamin's going to try to fall in line behind. Little bit of side draft there out of the 82 Chris James. He's going to stay side by side. All of this is letting Austin Collins pull away to about a 7/10 of a second lead here on the first lap. Still side by side for second Mike Lemon and the 82 of Chris James, rocking and rolling, battling side by side, nosing back and forth up front. This time it looks like the 82 is going to be able to get clear for second place. He does, and now Taylor Butcher Benjamin tries to pull down to the inside as here comes the 12 of Matt Burgess. A couple of race wins this season, trying to fall in behind, figure out which car is going to move, who's the smarter play. Looks like he's decided the bottom for now, but Taylor Butcher Benjamin can't use up all the racetrack that he wants to coming up out of the turn number 1. Through the short chute, he's got the preferred angle, preferred lane through turn 2, but Mike Lemon up on the top side holds on to that momentum, holds on to that spot, and now Matt Burgess trying to fall in behind. Brandon Brorby, Thomas Harmon running right behind. Richard Springer, two spots behind these cars. That 21 Valvoline machine looking strong, but he doesn't know where to go either as these guys now start to single file. Brandon Brorby goes a little bit wide on corner entry. You see a little bit of a scuff to the side of that car. It's not going to hurt anything, but a little bit of wall contact, definitely not what you want to have early on here in a 200-mile race at the biggest racetrack in terms of fame in the world. Austin Collins out to a 1.4 second lead. He's been super fast all weekend long, and he's super fast to start this thing. Two and a half laps into this race, has a 1.4 second lead over Chris James, who sits in second, started in third, has made up one spot over Mike Lemon. Started second, now in third. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, right where he's started, in fourth. And then there's Thomas Harmon, who's made his way up into the top 5 from the 7th starting spot. Matt Burgess, Brandon Brorby, Richard Springer, David Wright, and then JP rounding out our top 10. I will give a shout out to Matt Sisler, who's gone up 3 spots from where he started. DK lost a spot from the start, so did Sam Niederhelm. Dave Acacia and Larry McKenzie Jr. both up a spot. Matt Metler rearing up the field right now, and he knows just how good these guys are, how tough this league is, but now he's getting a first-hand taste of just how good these drivers are. And I tell you what, Matt Metler, he's no slouch when it comes to iRacing. Just goes to show how strong these competitors are. Things starting to string out just a little bit here in Indianapolis. Brandon Brorby trying to work over the 12 of Matt Burgess. It's just so tough here. You miss a corner, you're losing a lot of time, and if you make a mistake like that, getting loose up off the corner, you've got a long straightaway to kind of think about what you've done there. Chris James starting to try to eat into that lead a little bit. Taylor Butcher Benjamin starting to try to make that pass for third on Mike Lemon. ride on board with Montana, Pennsylvania's Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Matt Burgess side by side with Brandon Brorby. We knew Brorby was a little bit quicker. We saw Burgess getting sideways coming up off the corner about a lap and a half ago. Now Brandon Brorby going to take advantage. Burgess tries to cut in behind, almost gets up under that bumper. Not quite enough momentum there for the crossover. Does he have the draft down the backstretch? Doesn't look like he's going to try to dive in there this time around. Oh, maybe he's getting behind him. Sideways is Brorby coming through turn 3. Burgess lets off just a little bit, but I think Burgess got him a little bit loose there coming up through the corner. These Gen 4 cars, they don't have the downforce that you're used to seeing with maybe even that COT, the Gen 6 car, the next gen car that we see week in and week out on Sundays now. It's really easy to get behind somebody, loosen them up, take the air off the spoiler, get that rear end a little bit less downforce. Really get somebody sliding that way. Mike Lemon still defending from Taylor Butcher Benjamin, though. Benjamin's got himself a nice run coming up off the corner. Is it going to be enough? He's gained a couple of hundredths. He looks down to the inside, down the back straightaway. Is it going to be enough? Mike Lemon outbreaks him getting down in there. Lemon's going to hold on to third, but I tell you what, Austin Collins, he's lost a little bit of time on his lead. It was once up to 1.7 seconds. Right now, it's 1.2 coming across the start-finish line. Matt Sisler side by side with David Wright here coming up off of turn number 4. This is a battle for 9th place. Sisler, he's got the preferred lane, but these guys dead even across the line. Richard Springer had the position that time around. Or rather, Matt Sisler did over David Wright. Richard Springer is up in front of these guys. Show you guys just how much speed these guys are carrying through the corners, how slow they get through the midpoint right now. 150 is what we saw out of Mike Lemon. Here's Taylor Butcher Benjamin trying to get that draft, trying to get that nice run. Little bit of draft. He's looking down to the inside. Is he going to have enough for the side draft? He's going to go for it. Down to the inside. He's going to make that pass. Mike Lemon thinks better of fighting him once again. Now put Taylor Butcher Benjamin in 3rd place behind Chris James and Austin Collins. And don't look back, or don't look now, but Thomas Harmon, he's got a head of steam as he sits in 5th place, up 2 spots from where he started. Brandon Brorby, though, he has been mighty quick. We saw him make the pass on Matt Burgess. You know he's hungry, going to try to get around that Harmon machine for a 5th place, trying to get up into the top 5. Appreciate everybody who's tuning in here live on Sim Racing Media's YouTube. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a race. We've got fantastic racing 7 nights a week. So make sure to tune in so you don't miss the action. Taylor Butcher Benjamin has been able to put a hefty amount of distance between him and Mike Lemon here. Trying to chase down Chris James, who's kind of stabilized at that 1.1 section mark around 1.1 seconds behind Austin Collins. Get a quick look at what Matt Metler's got going on. Big time loose out of the 24 right in front. Thomas Harmon under fire from Brandon Brorby. Brorby seems to be using up a lot of right rear tire. You see a lot of slide out of that 45. You could almost call him DK right now with the way he's racing. Thomas Harmon, he's running that calm, cool, collected. Speaking of DK, he's looking to make a move on JP. James Pandolf down the back straightaway. Not quite enough speed to get past that Moo Crew Impala. Looks down to the inside into turn 3. JP does not give him the space. He fights it in deep in the corner. He's going to hold on to that spot, but DK getting sideways there, doing what he does. Fantastic drive. Matt Metler getting around Larry McKenzie. McKenzie sideways into the wall. He's going to keep her going straight, but he's got some right side damage to that 24 machine. Rubby all over the back bumper of Thomas Harmon. Just can't, wow, big sideways moment out of the 45. He just can't get the power down on the long straightaway to be able to make that move. He's got a fantastic entry into these corners. You can see just how much he's closing down. Gets a really nice first part, but after the short shoot, I don't know if he's getting on the gas too soon or what the situation is for that 45. Well, this time it might be a different story. Coming up off of turn number 4, Brorby's got himself a run. He's going to stay in line, try to tuck in with the draft. Not quite close enough to make that pass on Thomas Harmon. I thought that was going to be it, but now he goes a little bit wider there. He's going to get sideways coming up off of the corner. Little bit sideways there for Brandon Brorby. Thomas Harmon, he's going to hold on to 5th for at least another lap. Austin Collins, race lead, 1 second right now over Chris James. Taylor Butcher Benjamin sits in 3rd. Mike Lemon just behind him. He's chased him back down. Thomas Harmon and Brandon Brorby. It's almost like we've got a bunch of 2-car packs here. Matt Burgess has Richard Springer not too far behind him. Matt Sisler's gotten about a second in front of David Wright. JP and DK running 11th and 12th right now. And then we've got Dave Acacia, Sam Niederhelm, Matt Metler, and Larry McKenzie rounding out the field here. 14 laps in to the 80 laps at Indianapolis here for the Dynasty Racing League. We're going to go ahead and step away for just a moment, do a quick turn it up break. We'll be right back though with some more fantastic action here. Back live here at Indianapolis. The race for the lead has been cut down to about half a second. Saw Austin Collins a little bit on break, was trying to cut the draft down the straightaways. I tell you what, Chris James has been phenomenally quick this second portion of the run. They were probably about 5 laps away from pit stops. These guys are going to have to make at least 3 stops to make it to the end. But Austin Collins might have used up a little bit of tire too much at the beginning of this run, and now Chris James chasing him down. Taylor Butcher Benjamin still trying to defend from Mike Lemon, but that gap has been around a quarter to a third of a second. Thomas Harmon and Brandon Brorby, more of the same story. Richard Springer, he's chased down Matt Burgess just a little bit. That's another 3/10 of a second gap. And back to Matt Sisler and David Wright, who round out our top 10. Quarter of a second now down the back straightaway. I tell you what, we might see ourselves a pass for the lead in the next lap or two. And these guys know they can't go super long. Oh, here comes James down to the inside of Collins. I tell you what, he wasn't trying to make that pass going in, but he saw the lane that Collins had left him and had no choice but to just take it there. Fantastic drive there from Chris James, playing the long game, going to take the race lead on lap 19, lap number 20 now, approaching 50 miles complete. Look at the gap that Chris James is able to pull out already. That clean air is huge. Austin Collins had a great run there in the clean air, and now he's got a bit of dirty airs. Lost about half a second. Oh, Matt Sisler. I don't know if he got the wall there or just got super loose coming up off the corner, but that was almost a bad time there for that 93 machine. Looks like we've got ourselves a little bit of problems with that 14 as well. Dave Acacia was able to get around him. Potentially a little bit too much drifting. Here comes Brorby to the inside of Harmon. Harmon doesn't fight him too hard. Brorby goes a little bit wide. See if Harmon tries to fight him back. Brorby gets up off the bottom just a little bit. Thomas Harmon doesn't quite have enough to get down to the inside. He's going to relinquish that 5th place. Now Brorby in 5th, and now Mike Lemon trying to get down to the inside of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. 20 laps into the race. We've got a lot of battles, a lot of equal cars out here. I tell you what, Mike Lemon, he's just hoping to get around the 8. He's got to feel like he's a little bit quicker. This top 5, or top 4 rather, they're still within 2 seconds of the race lead, so when they come in for the pit stops in the next few laps, things could definitely shift. In terms of the top 4, we could see a little bit of an invert. We could see some drama happen. Same thing with the next pack. That's almost another 4-car pack here, led by Brorby, then Harmon, Matt Burgess, and Richard Springer, about a second behind them. So things could definitely shift there. But we're gonna look. We're gonna see who's gonna be the first one to blink. Who's gonna be the first one to come down to the pits? It's not Chris James. It's not Austin Collins, TBB, or Mike Lemon. Harmon, Burgess, Springer, and Wright, they all stay out. Or here's David Wright. Jacob Gladulich tried to work over Sam Niederhelm. Nothing doing that time around. James kind of running away with this at this point, though. He's got a 1.5-second lead over Austin Collins in second place. TBB going to try to get around him as quick as he possibly can. Oh, there's a little bit of a wiggle. Here comes TBB down to the inside. Austin tries to fight hard on the outside, but Taylor with the preferred lane. Austin going to get wide. Almost gets up into the wall. Taylor gives him plenty of space. Unsure of what he was going to have going on there, but side by side down the front straightaway. Taylor Butcher Benjamin with the preferred lane. This time around, Austin Collins fights strong on the outside. Taylor doesn't want to fight him too hard, doesn't want to hurt himself. Collins way wide there. He's making it work out there. The outside lane is not a strong lane here in Indianapolis, but taking away the amount of racetrack that the car on the inside can use, that is a beneficial tool that you can definitely take advantage of in these Gen 4 race cars. That's what we saw Austin Collins do right there. He's making it hard to pass as a driver. It's not that these cars are hard to pass in. I mean, they definitely are. Not as difficult as some other cars, but oh, that wasn't the exit Collins wanted there. TBB, he's going to have another run at it. This time he's going to have the preferred, he's going to have the nose ahead, the preferred line, and Mike Lemon going to follow through as well. Collins tries to cut down in front of Lemon, but Lemon's so good on the bottom. Collins gets clear of Lemon right now, but has to dive it in deep to ensure that Lemon doesn't get down to the bottom once again. A little bit sideways out of Mike Lemon. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, he loves to see this, but I gotta wonder, when are these guys gonna come in and pit? Gotta be coming soon. They can make it to about 27. I would say they can make it on 2 stops. Could that be what these guys are going for? I was hearing 22 to 24 with the drivers I was talking with before the race. Some of them were pushing for a 25, but that's going to be tough. They've all gone 25, though. This is 25 laps complete. We're on lap number 26. JP, James Pandolf, he's the first one to blink. He's the first one to bite. Get those fresh tires, fill her up with fuel. Chris James, though, stays out. I think if they can make it one more lap, it's a 2-stop race. And while you can make a pit stop here without losing a lap, you do not want to lose 45 seconds to the race leader. And here comes Chris James from the race lead, being followed in by Mike Lemon and Austin Collins. Taylor Butcher Benjamin stays out, as does Brandon Brorby, Thomas Harmon. See if these guys are able to get down to that 55-mile-an-hour speed, or 60 rather. Taylor Butcher Benjamin stays out to lead a lap. Maybe just try to get a little bit of free space on pit lane, some extra clean track position. This is the interesting part of the race. We're going to see where people start blending in. Not going to be too much in terms of differing strategy, because I think these guys are still going to try to push it. Go 26, 27, 27 maybe. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, he's going to go 27, 27, 26, or he can shorten up that middle stint if he wants to by a lap. But here comes Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Thomas Harmon going to come in. Larry McKenzie has crashed on an entry to pit lane. He's slow in the middle of the pit lane. Taylor Butcher Benjamin has to take avoiding action. Now he gets up to speed. That was almost an interesting moment there for your race leader. Matt Burgess stays out an extra lap. He's going to try to put a little bit more insurance in that fuel tank. JP behind him, the first driver to get into the pits. He's on fresh tires. Chris James also back out onto the racetrack. He's got a sizable advantage over Austin Collins. 5 seconds is that advantage. Mike Lemon another second back. Then Richard Springer 5 seconds back. Matt Sisler another 5 seconds off of that group. So Chris James, he's going to get out, take the race lead by a hefty margin over Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Matt Burgess still yet to make a pit stop. He's got 30 seconds of a lead over Chris James. He's coming in this time around. Chris James will assume the race lead. He's got 5 seconds over Austin Collins. 6 over Mike Lemon. Taylor Butcher Benjamin just got off the pit lane. He's going to blend into 5th place. 1 lap fresher tires. We'll see if that's going to be any sort of benefit for that 8 machine. Look at that 82. He's using up a lot of right rear early on. Here's Richard Springer and Brandon Brorby side by side in turn 3. Thomas Harmon going to try to follow through. Dives it down to the inside of that 21 machine. Matt Burgess losing those spots after coming into the pits. He's going to come out. See where he blends. He's going to lose a considerable amount of time, though. Last lap was the fastest lap of the race, a 52.40 from Chris James. $52.50 out of Austin Collins. Appreciate everybody who's tuning in live here on the Sim Racing Media YouTube. If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a race. We've got fantastic racing 7 nights a week here on Sim Racing Media, and Super Tuesdays, up to 6 shows rocking out a Tuesday. Brandon Brorby just put down the quickest first sector of the race. Being an oval, we've only got the 2 sectors, but the fastest first half a lap, nothing to look down on. We'll see if the second half of the lap can improve right here, just in front of Thomas Harmon. Not quite, but still a super fast lap there. Austin Collins, however, he's struggling a little bit on this new set of tires. It's about half a second slower than Chris James that time around. The gap has increased to about 6 seconds for the race lead. Chris James, he can put it on cruise control right now and just try to make it to the next pit point, open that pit window, try to get there. Just play your strategy here. Super sideways there, but tell you what, with the lead he's got, he can almost clutch it maybe 50 to 100 feet earlier, or let off that much earlier. Try to save an extra lap for the end so he's got enough in it for a burnout. Obviously, that's assuming we go green. We've seen a lot of green flag racing in this league. We know Indy can get spread out, and you don't always see the contact that you're used to seeing at maybe a track like North Wilkesboro, where the Cup Series drivers are racing this weekend. Austin Collins about a second in front of Mike Lemon, though. Lemon been quicker every lap until that last one. Be 32 laps complete this time around. Working lap number 33. 6 seconds of a lead for Chris James over Austin Collins. Mike Lemon, who's actually lost a considerable amount of time in these last 2 laps. He was up around 8/10, and now it's 1.7 back to, or up in front to Austin Collins. Taylor Butcher Benjamin sits in 4th place. Brandon Brorby, Thomas Harmon, Richard Springer, Matt Burgess, Matt Sisser, David Wright, Jacob Gladulich, JP, Dave Acacia, Sam Niederhelm, Matt Metler, and then Larry McKenzie Jr. rounds out the field. Maybe see if we can see what happened to Larry McKenzie as he got on to the pits. Oh. Back it up, maybe try to see how that happened. Oh, yeah, just wheel hopped it on entry and didn't bring out a caution because he was mostly off the track right there. Maybe could have, but it didn't. That's what happened. We saw that 24 up in front of these guys when they came into the pits. We now know why. David Wright looking to be making a pass on Matt Sisler. Super strong turn 4 there for the 42 machine. Coming up off the corner for David Wright. He's got a bead on Sisler's back bumper. He's going to dive it down to the inside, getting down into one. Almost gets into the back of Sisler. Goes wide there on entry. Going to try to cross him back over now, but almost some contact there through turn 1. Now David Wright, a little bit loose there behind Matt Sisler. Looks to the inside. Matt might not fight him too hard right here. Oh, he does. They're fighting hard down into turn number 3. But David Wright, he's going to be able to complete this pass. Here comes Sisler. Right back in behind, trying for a crossover, but it's just so tough to achieve here. Meanwhile, Dave Acacia all over the back bumper of JP, James Pandolf. This is a battle for 12th place. Acacia up 2, JP down 3 from the start. Now it looks like it's going to be up 3 for Dave Acacia. So he gets down to the inside of JP. This is... yep, he's going to be able to get clear. JP gets down. Oh, looks like we might have had a little bit of an incident there. Larry McKenzie Jr. gone around once again. Once again, just goes to show how on edge these cars are at any given time. Larry McKenzie having, unfortunately, the short end of the stick here. Matt Metler gonna go a lap down here to race leader Chris James. Wonder if this would be a bad time to bring him in. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and bring Matt in and maybe not talk to him, but hear what's going through his head. I decided to send him back there. Probably wouldn't be the best time to mess with him while we're right in front of the race leader. So we'll wait until that we'll wait until that pass is made. Matt's trying to take away his draft there. He's snaking it down the front straightaway a little bit. And another cool thing with Chris James, he's leading the race He's got that Mission 22, United in the War Against Veteran Suicide, and unfortunately there are 22 times a day where a United States service member, a veteran, unfortunately takes their own life, and we never want that to happen to anybody. We never want anybody to have to go through that. But it's a startling statistic in terms of veterans especially, so definitely appreciate that Mission 22 graphic shown upon the front hood here. So I tell you what, Matt Metler either figured something out right up in front of the race leader, or Chris James is just kind of playing with his food here. As close as James has been. Sideways a little bit out of the 0-0. Is he gonna look down to the inside? He does. Matt goes in deep. Matt's gonna fight him. Gives him the space this time. Stays up on the outside, though. He's still there. Looks like the 82 is going to be able to get clear down the back straightaway. Now Matt Metler goes a lap down. Now we'll bring him in. Matt, I brought you in for just a second before you got lapped there. But you were doing so good rocking the middle lane right up in front of the race lead. Didn't want to spoil your troubles there, but tell you what, man, how's the car feel?
It feels real good now. I kind of figured out something there midway through that run, and I was driving my guts out trying to keep that leader behind me, giving it everything I had. And my arms are burning, my fingers are numb, and I'm loving every second of it.
Well, yeah, it definitely looks like that thing is a handful, so when you say you're going a little numb, I believe you there.
But yeah, this is a blast. Just what an opportunity to be out here with these guys. And I'll tell you what, I gave everything I had there trying to hold that race car off. That leader is bad fast, but if I get some new shoes on this thing, a caution comes out, I may have something for the top 10, which would be fun. But now that the leader's by me, I think I'll go into fuel conservation mode here and see what we can come up with for the end. But 40 laps in, this is the most fun I've had in a while.
Awesome stuff, Matt. We're happy for you. Hope you keep having fun. We'll get you sent back.
Thank you, buddy.
Larry McKenzie has crashed. No caution once again. To the pleasure of Chris James. He's got an 8.5-second lead over Austin Collins. Mike Lemon and Taylor Butcher Benjamin have chased him down, though. We've got a 3-car race for second right here. Lemon makes the pass on Collins. Taylor Butcher Benjamin going to follow through very quickly there. Unfortunately, Collins is going to lose 2 spots in one corner there. Now Mike Lemon, he gets out in front, or rather into second place. 9.5 seconds out front to Chris James. Does anybody have anything for him? We're going to find out when we come back from this break. You're watching Sim Racing Media live here on YouTube. Sorry about that. Didn't get the microphone back on there, but we've got ourselves a fantastic race. Here comes Brandon Burby to the inside of Austin Collins. Thomas Harmon got up into 4th place. Burby going to get into 5th. Austin Collins falls back to 6th place. He's down 5 spots from where he started after starting in 2nd. Meanwhile, Chris James out to a 10-second lead over TBB, Taylor Butcher Benjamin. There's into the wall was Brandon Burby. Just a touch there coming up off of turn 4. Go ahead and throw you guys the track map. A lot of these cars are still on the same straightaway. You see, even in the same short shoot, a lot of these guys, starting with Taylor Butcher Benjamin here, coming up off of turn number 2, going all the way back to Matt Burgess. This group of 8 within 5 seconds of each other. Close enough to get some draft, close enough to get some passes set up. Chris James, he's got himself almost half a straightaway of a lead here in Indianapolis, and that says a lot. How fast that car is. It's still 9.9, just under that 10-second gap. Matt Burgess chasing down Richard Springer, who's trying to chase down Austin Collins just in front of him. That's for 6th place. Springer moves up to the top, gets into the wall. Springer sideways, now down to the inside. Burgess gives him plenty of space coming up off of the corner. That was almost hairy. Everybody gets through okay, and Austin Collins holds on to 6th place for at least another lap. Here comes Springer down to the inside. Collins enters in way wide. He's not going to fight this battle too hard. Slots in between Burgess and Springer. Now Matt Burgess going to try to get himself a nice run coming up off the corner. Not quite close enough to send it, but Austin Collins going to let him in. Lets off a little bit early, enters wide, cuts back down to the bottom. Not fighting that one too hard. Chris James might have had himself a little bit of trouble that last time around because Taylor Butcher Benjamin has gotten within 8 seconds of the race lead. These guys are a couple of laps away from a pit stop. I'd have to wager 4 laps or so away, 3 to 4 laps. 82 starting to get a little bit sideways though. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, he might be figuring something out here at the end on this long run. Might be in a good shape because it's 7.5 seconds right now. James might be trying to save some fuel. Right on board, try to figure it out. Oh yeah, he's clutching it. Totally clutching it. He's losing a lot of time. He's trying to hit that fuel number. Might have pushed it a little bit too hard here at the beginning part of this run. 6.5 seconds back to Taylor Butcher Benjamin right now. He's trying to make it at least to the end of this lap. Taylor's almost a second a lap quicker. Plus, Taylor stayed out a lap later. So he knows he can make it on fuel. You know, at least to that 54 number. Thinking for Chris James, you've really got to push it one more lap if you're going to be comfortable here. But we'll see what he's got. Is he going to come in this time? Yes, he is. Almost gets down into the inside wall there. Here comes Taylor Butcher Benjamin to follow. Thomas Harmon stays out. Mike Lemon, he's going to come in along with Richard Springer. Mike Lemon almost locks it up there. It's really easy to wheel hop here. You don't use a lot of brake. So it's really easy to wheel hop it into the entry of pit lane here. See it a lot at Talladega. You do use some brake here getting down into the corner, but not a lot like you would at, say, a short track, something like that. Thomas Harmon stays out to lead a lap. Brandon Burby stays out with him. Matt Burgess, Austin Collins, David Wright, DK also staying out. Chris James. Service done. Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Service done. So these guys both looking at the same fuel number now. What does the gap look like coming out of the pits? It was up to 10 seconds for a time. Right now it's 4.8 between Chris James and Taylor Butcher Benjamin. It's not completely out of the picture, and well, we haven't seen a caution. That could definitely blow things out of the water. Matt Burgess stays out. Austin Collins, Thomas Harmon, Brandon Burby, David Wright, DK, they're all into pit. That could have been the money stop. Chris James going to have to go, I believe, 26 laps on his tank of fuel. Maybe 27. But with how much he was clutching there, it might be difficult. We will have to see. Austin Collins, he's into the pits. Matt Burgess still staying out. Sam Niederhelms, he's coming into the pits. Matt Mettler, he's in the pits. Chris James back out of the racetrack. He's gapping Taylor Butcher Benjamin just a little bit, couple tenths a lap. It's up to 6 seconds of a race lead for the 82 machine of Chris James. Take a look at the track map. Things are relatively spread out at the moment. Not a whole heck of a lot in terms of battles going on. Matt Burgess just getting out of the pits. We can see where he blends. Looks like it's going to be right in front of Matt Mettler. Thomas Harmon up to third place. Still trying to tie that record for all-time wins leader. Seemed like an easy task at the first half of the season, but lately it's been tough. David Wright, he's also out here. He's trying to chase down Matt Burgess. Matt Mettler just in front of him. Mettler a lap down. Mettler gives him the space. We approach 20 laps to go. 22 this time around. Go ahead and ride on board with our Mission 22 machine for 22 laps to go. Still about 5.5 seconds of a lead. 21 to go, coming to 20 to go this next time around for Chris James. Trying to hold on for another one here. TBB though, he's been pretty quick. Wonder if Chris James is still trying to play that fuel save game a little bit, or what could be the case there. It's 4.5 seconds now. Taylor Butcher Benjamin putting the hammer down. We've got 20 laps to go, and now 4 seconds separating the top two. What could be going on with Chris James right now? Is he still clutching? He is. He's trying to hit his fuel number. He's trying to get it done early. But that is seriously costing his lead to Taylor Butcher Benjamin. It is now 3.6 seconds coming up off of turn number 4 with 19 laps to go here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Brickyard 200 coming down to a close. It's 3.3 across the line. Chris James over Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Matt Burgess has been able to chase down, or rather is getting chased down by David Wright. That gap is down within a second. It was up at 2 earlier on. I gotta wonder if this is where Chris starts to put the hammer down himself. You know he's been fast all race long. He pitted a lap before Taylor Butcher Benjamin and seems to be a bit concerned with his fuel. Less than 3 seconds is the gap. You can see TBB back there getting hungrier and hungrier. He can almost smell the race lead. It's 2.5 seconds across the start-finish line. He was already in the corner there when he started clutching. He's really pushing hard for this number. Meanwhile, Taylor. He's not clutching. Matt Burgess, he's caught up to David Wright, but he is still, or rather, he's caught up to Mike Lemon. He is still outside the top 5, trying to get inside of him. Mike Lemon sitting in 6th place. Then about 2 more seconds up to Richard Springer. Jump back up front, though. It's 2.1 seconds for the race lead. Butcher Benjamin gets a much better exit. That seems to be where he's making his time, making his money right now. Austin Collins trying to chase down Matt Sisler. This is in the top 10. Race for 9th. So Chris James has 1.8 seconds of a lead over Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Thomas Harmon's another 3 seconds back. And then Brandon Burby, another 1.5 seconds. Everybody's chasing down your race leader right now, up in the top 4. By a considerable margin. Taylor Butcher Benjamin is the closest to his lap times, but still every time a couple tenths quicker. It's a 1.5 seconds this time around. Matt Burgess trying to get around Mike Lemon down the back straightaway. Not quite enough momentum coming up off the corner. Not quite close enough to make that move. Chris James trying to hold on, though. Another 2 tenths taken away. They're in the same camera shot now. Taylor Butcher Benjamin can see the race for the lead. Just all over Lemon, getting right to the back bumper, getting him a little bit loose. Lemon loose going through turn 1. We're just going to try to do the same thing. You can see the wheel moving there on the 38. Is it going to be enough? Here comes the 12 down to the inside. Meanwhile, the race for the lead is just under a second. We'll get over to that in just a moment here. Burgess going to make the pass on the inside. Mike Lemon doesn't fight him too hard. Meanwhile, it's 8 tenths across the line. Less than 4 seconds back to Thomas Harmon. Taylor Butcher Benjamin has been putting on a clinic. He's in hardcore chase mode. 3/4 seconds now, down from over 5.5 at the beginning of this run. And we see that 82 car getting mighty loose there through turn 2. That's not going to help him with his fuel save or with his lead. To hold on to the lead. There's a word for it I can't think of. Is James still playing the fuel save game? Not anymore. Taylor Butcher Benjamin is within 0.5 seconds. With 14 laps to go, coming to 13 laps to go. Indianapolis comes down to a strategy call once again. Chris James came in a lap before everybody else on the first pit stop. Had to save fuel to try to get to the number to make it to the end on his money stop. Saves a little bit more fuel at the beginning of this thing. Takes away a lot of his lead, but he's still got 0.5 seconds over Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Meanwhile, the 8 car is as fast as he has ever been. Consistently 2 to 3 tenths quicker a lap. Right now, it's 4 tenths of a second. That math stays strong. Within 2 laps, Taylor Butcher Benjamin will be the new leader. 13 laps to go right now. Chris James has to kick it into overdrive to try to keep this number 8 machine behind him. We know how strong Taylor Butcher Benjamin's been at the end of these things. Let's not forget about Thomas Harmon, who sits just 3 seconds off the race lead. Here comes Chris James down to the bottom side, trying to break the draft. Taylor Butcher Benjamin to follow. Down to the inside is 3 tenths of a second at the line. 12 laps to go here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Sideways there out of your race leader, Chris James. Little bit loose through turns 1 and now turn 2. You can see him fighting that wheel. Taylor Butcher Benjamin not fighting it anywhere near as hard. It's within 1/10 now. Taylor's going to come down down the back straightaway, try to get to the inside into turn 3. Does the 22, Mission 22 rather, machine fight? He does. He fights hard up on the outside, and now Taylor Butcher Benjamin's got one more corner to try to set him up for this long straightaway. Coming to 11 laps to go. These guys start racing hard for the lead. That's going to bring Thomas Harmon back up front, back up to these guys. Meanwhile, Matt Burgess has chased down Richard Springer for that top 5 spot. Similar gap to what we see up front. It's loose off of turn number 1 there for Chris James. trying to hold on. Taylor Butcher Benjamin goes up to the top side, going to try to cut down to the bottom. He's going to get his nose there. He's going to try to side draft him a little bit. No, he doesn't. He's just going to keep that horsepower, keep that momentum. Chris James arcs it wide. Still tries to fight him up on the top side. Is it going to be enough? Super loose is the 82. It's not going to be enough to keep Taylor Butcher Benjamin behind him. He gets back into it, though. Trying to cut back down to the bottom in turn number 4. But Taylor Butcher Benjamin, from 6 seconds back, has chased down Chris James and taken the race lead. Thomas Harmon able to close down within 2 seconds of these guys. Now the 82, he's got to try to find his rhythm. Done a lot of fuel saving. Might have changed up the way that his tire wear worked. He seems to be using up a lot of right rear, which is why he's super loose coming through these corners. But he hasn't lost touch with your race leader, Taylor Butcher Benjamin. He might have himself a shot. It ain't over. He's close. Right up out of the rear bumper. Now both guys getting loose. Thomas Harmon loves to see this. Right up next to the curbing there for Chris James in the 82. He's got himself a strong run coming up off of turn number 4. Not quite enough momentum, not quite enough draft to make the move going down into 1, but he is not letting that 8 machine get away. Less than 10 laps to go. There's 9 to go at the line. Chris James has led almost every lap in this race. Taylor Butcher Benjamin came in late here to try to steal this one. Chris had to get up off of the throttle there on entry to avoid hitting the 8, and that was a benefit to the 8 machine. Taylor Butcher Benjamin gets a nice run in the first half of this lap. Meanwhile, Matt Burgess able to get around Richard Springer for 5th place. Brandon Brorby is his next target, but that's 7 seconds up the road. I tell you what, with 9 laps, that's going to be a tough ask. Taylor Butcher Benjamin leads the race over Chris James, 0.2 of a second back. Thomas Harmon can smell the lead. He's two seconds off the race lead. Then we've got Brandon Brorby, Matt Burgess rounding out the top 5. Richard Springer, Mike Lemon, David Wright, Matt Sisler, Austin Collins, Jacob Gladulich, the Drift King, James Pandolf, JP, Dave Acacia, Sam Niederhelm, and Matt Metler rounding out the field. Here comes Chris James to the back bumper of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. He's going to get there, getting into turn 2. Lets off just a little bit, but he is so close. He can get that 8 car as loose as he wants to, and you can see the 8 car wiggling coming up off of the corner. Absolutely fantastic drive out of both of these guys. Chris James saving fuel, lost the lead that he had, but he is not letting Taylor Butcher Benjamin get away with this thing. Looks down to the inside, trying to get as much clean air to the left front of that machine as he can without losing time, without losing draft. He knows if he goes up to the right side to try to get clean air, he's going to get stuck up in a wash. He's going to get up into the dirty lane. He's going to lose time. But right now, less than 1/10 of a second separating your top 2. Taylor Butcher Benjamin looks to the bottom to break the draft just a little bit. Chris James doesn't bite. James looking down to the inside through turns 1 and 2. He's almost got a full lane down there. Taylor gets super loose coming up off of 1, but loose as well was the 82. Couldn't take advantage. Thomas Harmon unable to take advantage of these guys slipping and sliding. Look at that 82 coming up off of turn 2. These guys are absolutely working their tires to the core. There's not going to be any tire left. They'll be on the rims by the time this thing is over. 7 laps to go, coming to 6 laps to go. Taylor Butcher Benjamin now 3/10 out front. Chris James, big slide coming up off of turn 2. Was that all she wrote for him, or can he get another nice run coming up off this corner? Favor in, well, it looks to be in favor of Taylor Butcher Benjamin this time around. 6 laps to go, 0.4 of a second of a lead for TBB. Chris James fighting hard behind. Now that Taylor doesn't have that guy right behind him, he seems to be able to get through these corners a little bit smoother. Down the back straightaway, just about half a second right now. Chris James behind Taylor Butcher Benjamin, coming to 5 laps to go. Mike Lemon trying to get up to David Wright now. I think he's been falling through the order. But Taylor Butcher Benjamin Looks like he's played his strategy card pretty perfect. As long as he can make it to the end on fuel. Because we know how much that 82 was clutching it. Meanwhile, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, we haven't really seen him clutch. He was chasing down the 82 for the race lead. Is there a possibility that the 8 car can't make it on fuel? Chris James not letting this thing go either. Trying to keep that pressure on. It's 0.4 of a second with 5 laps to go. And with that, we're going to take a break. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to do that. 0.4 of a second is the race lead. Chris James in second place. He's got a big time gap getting down into the corner there. JP coming into the pits. He can't make it to the end. Big time send into turn 3 for Chris James. We'll see if turn 4 is more of the same. Got himself a nice run coming up off the corner. It's 1/3 of a second. 4 laps to go this time around. And Chris James, he got out front early. He's going to be devastated if he can't bring this one home. But Taylor Butcher Benjamin has been the king of consistency all year. He's been up at the top 5. He's been racing for the wins multiple times. Gotten himself a few wins this year, trying to knock off the Brickyard 200, get this crown jewel under his belt. Chris James led so many laps, trying to take this one back. 4 laps to go, coming to 3 laps to go. Taylor missed the bottom. Chris James gets super close now. He's within a car length. Gets down to the back bumper. Chooses to stay off of him there, which is a good call here to track this size, but a good run there out of the 82. He's going to look up to the top side as Taylor Butcher Benjamin goes down low. Now he gets into draft behind. 3 laps to go across the line. Chris goes in on the top side. He's going to try to keep that momentum rolling. If he can make this pass up on the top side, he is there. They're nose to nose going through turns 1 and 2. Chris James up on the top side. Taylor can't use up all the racetrack that he wants to. Taylor super sideways coming up off of turn number 2. Chris James back into the race lead. He's going to be clear going down the back straightaway. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, he's going to have a couple more chances to attack here. He's got to get his rhythm back, try to utilize this draft, and not slide those tires too much. We saw Chris James fall back to about half a second back. Taylor's going to have a chance to get this draft back and try to chase him back down, and you can see just how much that 82 in front of him's wiggling. Thomas Harmon 2 seconds back, though. If these guys tangle, he's not out of this thing. Chris James holds on to the race lead with 2 laps to go. Taylor Butcher Benjamin trying everything he can to try to get back to him. Sideways coming up off of turn 1. Lost a little bit of time in the short chute. That's not going to be good for him. But through turn 2, we'll see if he can keep that momentum up. Coming up off of 2. He's sideways once again. A little bit quicker than Chris James coming up off of the corner, but not by enough to make a dent here. It's 3/10 as they get down into turn number 1. Or turn 3, rather. Chris James with the strong turn 3 there, coming through turn 4, coming to the white flag. Taylor Butcher Benjamin has got to be flawless if he's going to catch up to Chris James. Chris James has got to be flawless if he's going to keep that 8 car behind him. We've got 2.5 miles left here in the Brickyard 200, the Dynasty Racing League Crown Jewel. Everything's on the line right here. Chris James holds on to the race lead. Taylor Butcher Benjamin quicker through turn 1. Trying to set up a nice turn 2, get himself a run down the back straightaway. He holds on to the bottom. Little bit loose coming up off of 2. It's 3/10 down the back straightaway. Taylor Butcher Benjamin maybe a 1.5 miles quicker. Not by much. It's 0.28 into turn 3. Taylor's getting closer, but not quite close enough. Chris James, he's got to make it through one more quarter. He's still got the 0.3 of a second gap. Chris James dominating all race. He's going to come off of turn number 4. Taylor Butcher Benjamin can attack. It's a long straightaway here, but as long as he can make it to the end on fuel, he is golden. Across the line, it's Chris James taking home the win. And a fantastic drive for Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Thomas Harmon comes home in 3rd. Brandon Brorby in 4th, Matt Burgess, Richard Springer, David Wright, Matt Sisler, Austin Collins, and Jacob Glodjulich Drift King rounds out your top 10. Then we see Dave Acacia, Sam Niederhelm, JP, Matt Metler, Mike Lemon, and Larry McKenzie Jr. did not finish the race. Chris James gets it done here today. Go ahead and show you the results that we just went through quickly as we wait for everyone to get across the line. There it is. We'll watch Chris James burn it down, then we'll talk to him. First, we're going to watch him burn it down. After such a dominating win. That's why he was saving fuel. That's why he was clutching. Nope, he's out. He's out. All right, well, if he's out, we're going to bring him in.
Yeah.
Chris.
Hello?
Man, turns out I stole you mid-conversation, man. I'm sorry about that. But
Oh, you're good.
Liam up in the booth. Tell you what, man, fantastic drive, fantastic fuel save.
Oh, man.
Amazing battle there with Taylor Butcher Benjamin. There was nothing that came easy to you that race. But first off, we'll start from the beginning. Walk us through the start of your race and taking the race lead early on.
I was basically just trying to not push the car too hard and save tires. That seemed to pay off after however many laps that was. I think Austin got tight or loose or one. I was able to get by him, but then I just seemed to kept getting the lead. But I think I attribute that more everyone to fuel saving. Thanks, Thomas. He just came by and hit me. So I'm not exactly sure how much speed played a factor it versus fuel saving for them to try to get an extra lap out of that first run, which I'm not sure.
We saw you clutching it a lot at the end of your second stint, and you obviously came in a lap before everybody else did. Did you kind of have an, oh, wait, shouldn't have done that moment when that happened, or?
Yeah, I should have not started that and just waited to do it on the next one. I probably would have had a little easier time on that final stint. But yeah, I started doing it. I'm like, no, I just need to wait until next time. I've already made my bed.
And so this time around, for the third stint, you saved the fuel early, and you saved just enough to be able to put the fight to Taylor Butcher Benjamin, who chased you down from a hefty margin. But
yeah, that's when I was in fuel save mode, clutching it, and then he got back to me, and I was in Discord with him, and we were kind of joking. I told him to stop saving fuel in my draft, and then he got around me, and the tables reversed, and I was able to do that a little with him. And then he made one mistake, and saw my opportunity to just go, and then realized I was going to be good on fuel. I think I crossed with 0.3 gallons at the line, but what a race, dripping in sweat. I raced in VR. Oh man, my eyes were stinging, eyes were dripping sweat. It was great. I had a good time.
Well, that's awesome, man. It was an absolute blast watching you guys, and yeah, obviously we saw you ran out of gas here. Weren't quite able to burn it down, but congratulations on the win. Is there anybody you want to shout out for such a strong performance here?
Shout out to my friends, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Richard Springer, David Wright. Can't remember if anyone was about else in there. My race team, Hyperforce Esports. Shout out to Team Watson Racing Setups, Bruzy Racewear, and Don Wheaton Chevrolet, even though I'm driving a Ford.
Well, awesome stuff, man. Congratulations on the race win, and yeah, go ahead, celebrate. That's a Brickyard 200, man. You're a winner at Indy.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna go get a beer.
Woohoo! All right, drink it up, man. Good job.
All right, thanks.
It's your race winner, Chris James. Now we're going to go ahead and talk with TBB, second place. Taylor, you had a heck of a battle there with Chris James. Kind of walk us through that final stint. You chasing him down. Did you have enough gas to really put the fight to him and walk us through that battle you guys had?
Yeah, I had enough gas crossing the finish line, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. I knew the deficit I had to make up on the last pit stop. I knew he was saving an awful lot, and I was close. Just I guess the way I was just kind of on and off the gas throughout the whole race in general. So I figured just like why not just go for it? And I got by him with about I don't know 10 to go or something, and then I just missed the bottom in turn 3, allowed him to get a run on me, and he was able to make it stick on the outside entering between 1 and 2, and made the pass, and was able to have enough gas to make it. So that was a lot of fun. It's good to have him back. I know he's been off running another league that is in the Cup Series. Yeah, so I'm out of breath. Can't you tell? There's a lot of stuff going on tonight.
It's all right. We can keep it quick if you like. It's always good to talk to you. And second place might not have been where you wanted to finish, but is there anybody you want to shout out before we let you go?
I was really hoping to make it 3 in a row, but before I do anything, a couple of things I missed last week is, well, first, Mother's Day. I definitely want to say hi to my mom. And also the fact that Thomas Harmon's daughter doesn't sound like she's doing too great. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but definitely wish her the best. Of course, shout out to DPR for getting another victory, although I would have liked to have been me, but it's good to see Chris come back here and make it a heck of a race to get back to victory lane in this league. Appreciate everybody else coming out, James for putting on the league, and also for him making a setup, because I'm honestly not sure why they don't have a setup for the Gen 4 Cup at Indianapolis already installed, but it was tough to drive a little bit, pretty loose most of the race, but everybody did a good job. Another caution-free race given the setup we were given, so definitely got to be proud about that. And of course, thank you for doing the broadcast. And I know it would have been nice for Matt to do it with you, but it was neat to have him on track with us tonight. So
I know he had an absolute blast getting his butt whooped by some of the best in the Gen 4 here. Fun to watch you guys get it done, and yeah, fantastic drive out of you once again. Congratulations on the second place drive, and we'll
thank you very much.
Week, but, we'll be talking to you in a couple weeks.
Yep, I hope everybody has a good Memorial Day.
Taylor, Butcher, Benjamin. Let's see if we can get third place. Thomas Harmon up into the booth. Thomas, you got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, I got you.
How you doing, man? It's always good to talk to you. You got third place today. Not usually the spot on the podium you're used to taking this time or this season so far, but fantastic drive nonetheless.
Yeah, I was just glad to finish on the podium. This is only my second race this week. Had a lot going on this week, and this racing really hasn't been the focus, so still a little rusty tonight, but apparently good enough to be in the top 3.
Yeah, no, I mean, we know the competition level that you were up against. We had Matt Metler, my normal booth mate, up in the race. Got his butt whooped by the lot of you. So we know the talent level that you're up against here. So fantastic drive for you to be able to take away third place. I guess were you kind of hoping those leaders would tangle a little bit there at the end? I mean, obviously for third place.
Yeah, once I noticed that they were going to be able to stretch it the 27 laps that we needed in that second run, and still be at front, I was hoping that whenever Chris fell back, that they would, fight each other a lot or make a little contact, something to bring me back into the fight. But that never transpired, and ended up third.
We'll make it quick. Taylor kind of mentioned a little bit. He gave you a bit of a shout out, and I know you said you've got a lot that happened this week, and I know your daughter's not feeling particularly well, and so just want to give you all the best wishes there, and
Yeah, appreciate it.
But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank for such a strong run here today?
Yeah, shout out to you guys up in the booth, all the drivers that show up each week. JP for putting on the league. all the fans show up, and for my daughter, she's home now, thankfully. But
Well, that's good news.
and and then shout out to my grandpa who passed on the same day that she was released.
That is not good news. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
No.
It's,
Yeah, it's been a rough
always-
week. So
it's always tough to lose somebody, especially somebody you've spent a lot of time looking up to, and kind of makes that type of day bittersweet. And so yeah, you're definitely in all of our hearts here on Sim Racing Media. We
hopefully,
appreciate you
hopefully we'll have
racing
a
with us. And, sorry, go ahead.
say hopefully we'll have a week where we can come back and be happy-go-lucky again. But got a couple weeks left for everything to bounce back.
You also got next week off to spend with the family, enjoy some racing, and at least from this league. So we'll send you off into next week. Wishing you the best of luck there, and appreciate you joining us for the race. Congratulations once again on such a fantastic drive.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
All right, let's see if we can get Matt up in here. He tried to join up while we were finishing up with Thomas Harmon there. Might not be able to get with Matt. Well, that's all right, though. We can go ahead and call it there. Go through the results one more time. Chris James takes a dominant win, but nothing came easy for him over Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Thomas Harmon, Brandon Brorby, Matt Burgess, Richard Springer, David Wright, Matt Sisler, Austin Collins, Jacob Glodulich, Dave Acacia, Sam Niederhelm, James Pandolf, Matt Metler, Mike Lemon, and Larry McKenzie Jr. rounding out the field here today. That's going to about do it for us here on Sim Racing Media. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. Oh, there's Matt. Well, Matt, we were just signing off, but before we go, we'll go ahead and let you get a couple cents in on how the race went for you.
Halfway about through that race when the leader, Chris James, and congratulations to him, he drove his tail off, was running me down. I figured out something with the race car there, and man, that second to last stop, or the final fuel stop, at that point in time, I was thrilled. I didn't cause a wreck. I didn't have any incident points, and I was trying to save some fuel there. I figured there was going to be more guys that were going to have to short pit for fuel. But as good as these guys are, and as much as we've seen up in the booth, the masters of fuel strategy, that didn't come into fruition. But boy, that car was wicked fast there. That last run, when I needed it to be at times, it could really rip the bottom there when I was messing around with JP there on the racetrack. But had a great time out there with those guys. A lot of fun, and big thanks to JP for letting me come on board and race with them. And I listened to the broadcast. You did a heck of a job up there, buddy.
Well, awesome stuff, Matt. We appreciate you jumping up in here, letting us know how your race went. We're going to go ahead and sign it off here on Sim Racing Media, though. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's been a fantastic show. The Dynasty Racing League puts on a blast once again. A caution-free race once again. Matt, I'm not going to lie. Kind of like to see you to get your butt whooped by these incredibly talented drivers out here.
It was the best butt whooping I ever got. Still happy I didn't finish last. And like I said, didn't wreck, no incident points. I didn't affect their caution streaks. That's a win for me.
Awesome stuff. We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Liam Irving. That's Matt Metler for Sim Racing Media. We'll catch you next time.